Hi everyone! This is a supplemental video, so I know a lot of people won't watch it, but in case you are interested about our assessment process and what we actually do when we read your essays, I thought I'd try to give you some ideas or let you in on the secrets, the behind the scenes stuff. I have a bunch of questions in front of me that students often ask that I'm going to try to cover. So one of them is, why do we assess the way we do? Why do we do it? That's a great question. What we're trying to do is to make sure that all of your essays get attention from a real audience. Too often, people are writing to their teacher. So we want to give you a real academic audience, not a pretend audience, real people, to read your essay and to react to it, so you know what that's like. Another reason we do it is for you to know that the feedback you're getting is unbiased. It's not because of your personality, it's not because you've walked in late, it's not because you've said mean things to your teacher. It's based really just on what's on the paper, what you've written. It's based on the skills that you're presenting to us. It also helps us see what we're doing well. So if your teacher, all the papers look this way, and my students, all their papers look this way, it helps. We can see what, as teachers, we can work on and help each other with. What do we have strengths with? Do our students do really good synthesis? Ooh, then you should come into my class and work on this. Do your students have really deep critical thinking? So it helps us become better teachers too. So that's why we assess this way. There's a lot of reasons. There's only 3 of them, but they're good reasons. Okay, so how do we do it literally? We've done it different ways. We've used different essays coming in and such. Right now, you have one academic multi-source synthesis essay, and we use a rubric on it. So you turn in your essay, whether you hand a paper copy to your instructor or you send it, your instructor then has to print it off, staple it, put it in a folder. So they're all in folders. We sit down, 2 readers together. We norm in the beginning, and then we read your essay. So I'll read an essay, and I will make comments on the rubric. I'll turn it upside down, put it in the folder, slide it over here, go to the next one. And we do this over and over and over. The next person will read it. They don't see the feedback first. They see your essay first. They're trying to be unbiased readers, so they see just your essay first. So they'll read it also, put their comments on the rubric, flip them over, compare, talk about if there's any misunderstandings or people saw it a different way. Doesn't happen often, but just to check. It's a good plan. After they're read by 2 people, we do this little half sheet, a little piece of paper that says it's acceptable or unacceptable at this point. And it goes in a pile. We're done with that one. We move on to the next one. Now there's a difference between our first reading and our second reading. This semester we're doing our first reading week 12, and we call that formative assessment, meaning we're trying to help you, giving you advice. You're still in the formation of this essay. This is feedback used to help you craft, recreate, work with, improve your essay. So that's the whole goal. Yes, we mark acceptable or unacceptable, but that's only because we found that when we took that off for week 1 reading, or for the first week readings, first round readings, people wouldn't pay attention to our feedback. So we've left it on there. Rarely, very rarely, first round, is there an acceptable. And there's a reason for that. The purpose is to try to help you become a better writer. And no matter where your paper is, it could probably get better. The essays that get first round acceptable are ones that are already stellar. They're already near perfect work, as much as we can expect in a freshman writing. So they're very rare. They're less than 5%. So if you don't get an acceptable on the first round, please don't feel bad. It's out of love that you don't. We want to help you get better. And we really believe, we have a frame of reference, we believe that by giving you advice and giving you things to work on, we're helping you for your whole life. I know, we're geeks, but that's the truth. So the second round is different. The second round when we're reading, it's no longer formative, it's summative. You're not still writing, this is the end product. So we're not trying to help you make it better. We're evaluating, assessing if you've reached the line. Is this at least C work? Is this at least competent? And that's our job, to look at it then. And we'll use the rubric again, same setup. One person will read, check the little box at the bottom, flip it over. The next person will read, check the little box, flip them over. If they don't agree, second round, if there's a conflict there, they'll close it up and hand it off to the EAC, the English Assessment Coordinator, which this semester is me. So they'll hand it over to me. If it's one of my students, of course, I can't be the tiebreaker, because that wouldn't be unbiased. So I will hand it to another long-term, full-time faculty member that's done this before, and they will be the tiebreaker. If, I know I'm telling you all sorts of information here, but if it goes down then, it's unacceptable at that point, your teacher gets to look at all of them. And he'll be going through, or she'll be going through, all of them and finding out, which ones were acceptable, which ones were unacceptable, so they can talk to you about your options next. If when they're reading them, they find one that's unacceptable that they didn't expect to come up that way, they can reread your essay, read the feedback, and if they don't believe that you should have been rated unacceptable, they can come to the EAC and have it reread. That doesn't guarantee that it's suddenly going to change from unacceptable to acceptable, but it means that you just got 2 new readers. So we build all these things in to try to make sure there are no mistakes. That once you get your feedback back, the department has agreed as a whole that this is either acceptable or unacceptable to move forward. So that's with all these. So what if it's unacceptable? That's a big question, right? Well, first you know that your teacher had a chance. If they didn't pass it on to be reread, that means they thought it deemed unacceptable also. There's an option that your instructor is fully in charge of. I'm not as the EAC, you're not as a student, they are. If they believe that you have came to most of the classes, that you really understand the course, that you know how to write one of these papers, this one was just some freak accident, but you really have the skills inside of you. If they believe all of those things are true, and you've earned a C or better in the class, they can recommend you for English 111B, which is free one-on-one tutoring. And you just work on that paper until it hits acceptable. If you've missed a lot of days, if they don't think you take criticism well, that's a big point. If it's one-on-one tutoring and you can't take criticism, not the option for you. If they think for some reason that this is not the thing for you, they can choose not to offer it to you. It's up to them. If you've earned a C- or below in the class, it's not even an option. Only people who get a C or above can be offered it. And they can only be offered it if their instructor believes that's going to be useful to them. So it's on the instructor then, if they're going to offer you 111B or not. Okay, that's all the questions I have in front of me. I wish you were in front of me so you could ask me more questions about this process or what's interesting you in it. You can always get a hold of me. My students know my name is Sally Butler, sjbutler@midmich.edu. I would love to answer any questions via email if you'd like that, or you can come into my office. In Mount Pleasant, it's 176B, and at Harrison, it's 207. So you probably want to give me an email first to know when I'm here, but I'd love to talk to you. I'm here for questions. All right. Talk to you soon, I hope.